In this section, I am going to discuss about economic aspects of power generation. Once they are generated the power in the power plant, that is either conventional or non-conventional power plant, that is conventional or renewable energy sources. Suppose in the conventional power plant, that is either thermal, hydro, nuclear, gas, and then diesel power plant. Gas and then diesel power plant. Here they are generated the power, that is the bulk amount of power, net amount of power at a time in the conventional power plant, that is thermal, hydro, nuclear, gas, and then diesel power plant. Once they are generated the power, immediately they need to send to the consumer via transmission and then distribution line. There is no other options are there. Here we can store the voltage in terms of volt with the help of battery, not in terms of kilovolt. In this, the power plant, they are generated the voltage in terms of 3.3 kV, 6.6 kV, and then 11 kV in India. But in US and Japan, they are generated up to 33 kV also. But in India, we are generated 3.3 kV, 6.6, 11 kV. Based upon the requirement, based upon the line length, they are boost up the voltage into, that is 3.3, 6.6, or 11 kV to 66 kV, 132, 220, 400, or 765 kV. In India, the maximum AC transmission line, the operating voltage is 765 kV. That is AC transmission system. In India, the maximum, the operating voltage in the transmission line is 765 kV. That is the maximum operating voltage. Again, they are step down the voltage in that the step down transformer. Here only they are using the step up transformer or power transformer in the generating session. Remaining all the places they are used for step down transformer. Here in the generating station, that is the power plant. After that, receiving substation, again the distribution substation, the consumers are utilized. In between, we are used for transmission and then distribution line. Transmission and then distribution line. Again, the transmission line are classified for two types. One is for primary transmission line, another one is for secondary transmission line. One is for primary transmission line. This is the transmission line, again classified for two types. One is the primary transmission line, another one is for the secondary transmission line. Again, the distribution line is also classified for two types. One is the primary distribution line and another one is for the secondary distribution line. How they are classified, the transmission and then distribution line, the high operating voltage is considered for the transmission line, that is 66 kV, 132, 200, 220, 400, and 765. That is 66, 132, 220, 400, and 765 kV. These comes under for the transmission line. These comes under for the transmission line. And the distribution line are classified as, that is 440 volt, that is three phase, three wire or four wire system, 11 kV and then 33 kV. These comes under for the distribution lines. Based upon the operating voltage, again it is classified for primary transmission line and then secondary transmission line. That is the primary transmission line, the operating voltage is 220, 400 and then 765 kV. 220, 400 and 765 kV. This comes under the primary transmission line. In primary transmission line, there is no tapping is there. That is 132 kV is comes under also primary transmission line. That is 132, 220, 400 and 765 is comes under the primary transmission line. In this primary transmission line, there is no tapping also. That is the consumers are not connected. That is from generating station to, that is substation, or one substation to the another substation. One substation to another substation. That is seven, they are boost up the voltage into either 220 kV or 400 kV in the generating station. And another substation they are step down into this 400 to 220 kV or 132 kV. In between the substation or generating station to the substation, there is no tapping is there. There is no connector. Only here the parameter is we are concentrated for the voltage and the load is maintained for constant in terms of either 3 ampere or 2 ampere or 4 ampere. But the voltage is boosting. That is the step of the voltage. And in the secondary transmission line, that is the operating voltage is 66 kV. The operating voltage is 66 kV or 33 kV. Here, only the industrial consumers are connected. Industrial consumers again classified for small scale industry, medium scale industry, and then large scale industry. For small scale industry, that is the capacity is 25 kilowatt, and medium scale industry, the capacity is 25 to 100 kilowatt, and a large scale industry that is greater than 500 kilowatts. Here, based upon the requirement, they are connected here. And in this, the consumer premises, they are kept for the step down transformer. They are step down the voltage, that is 33 to 11 kV or 66 to 11 kV or 33 to 440 volt. Based upon the consumer premises, they are step down the voltage. That is based upon the operating voltage we are represent for primary transmission line and then secondary transmission line. That is primary transmission line, the operating voltage is considered for 132 kV, 220, 400 and 765 kV. There is no tapping is available. And the secondary transmission line is 66 or 33 kV. Only the tapping is available for big industrial consumers. Big industrial consumers. In their consumer premises, again they are kept for the step down transformer. The step down, that is 33 to 11 kV or 33 to 440 volt. Based upon the requirement, they are step down the voltage. Similarly, in the distribution line, they are concentrated for the load, not for the voltage. That is, the load is increasing, the voltage is maintained for constant. Again, it is classified for two types. One is for primary distribution line, another one is for the secondary distribution line. The primary distribution line, the voltage is considered for 11 kV and then 33 kV, and the secondary distribution line is considered for the 440 volt. In primary distribution line, again they are used for the medium industry consumers. Again they are kept for the separate the step down transformer in their consumer premises. The step down, that is 11 kV to 440 volt. And the secondary distribution line, n number of tapping is available. This is used for the domestical consumer, irrigation, municipal load. That is, the distribution transformer is there, or pole mounted transformer. The step down transformer 11 kV, they are step down into 440 volt, three phase, three wire line or four wire line. Three phase, three wire or four wire line. Here, the generating station, the substation, and then distribution, in between transmission and distribution are there. That is generation, that is the power plant. Here the transmission line and the distribution line, and then the consumers. In between, in generating station to transmission, that is the substations are available. Here also some amount of the substation is there. Again the distribution substation is there. Here the huge amount of the cost is there. The cost it will be available. That is, we need to determine the per unit. That is 1 kilowatt hour, 1 kWh. We want to find out 1 kWh. The cost of production of electrical energy is known as economics of power generation. We need to identify, or we need to find out 1 kWh, how much the cost. We want to find out the cost per unit. That is the 1 kWh, how much the cost we can determine. That is represent for economics of power generation. There is nothing but economics of power generation. Here we want to find out how much the cost per unit. That is 1 kWh, how much cost we can determine. That is determine the cost of production. That is nothing but economics of power generation. But here the main problem for determining the production of cost, here the various cost is represented: fixed cost, semi-fixed cost, and then running cost. Fixed cost in the sense that is nothing but the capital cost investment. Semi-fixed cost means that is tax, wages, and so on, etc. Running cost means fuel cost. You need to segregate all those things. After that, find out for the how much the per unit cost. Generally, in that the power station is required the bulk amount of power, large number of consumers. The consumers, again, it is classified for domestical consumer, industrial consumer, irrigation, municipal, industrial, so on, etc. to meet the requirement. But based upon the different consumer, the requirement is different based upon the load. For industrial consumer, that is they are connected for 33 kV and the load is different. For domestical consumer, the load is different. For irrigation and municipal, the load is different. While designing a generating power station, the effort should be made to achieve overall economy. That is the output we need to achieve the economy. That is the per unit cost of production as low as possible. Here in this the power system, one more condition is there. We need to satisfy for the consumer the two aspects. One is for the quality, another one is for the quantity. We need to satisfy for the consumer the two parameter. One is for the quality, another one is for the quantity. That is, we need to supply to the consumer quality and then quantitative power. Quality and then quantitative power. Quality means we need to supply the 24 hours supply without interruption and without the fluctuation, without interruption and then without load fluctuation. Quantity means at reasonable price, at reasonable price. At that time the consumers are satisfied, or else the consumers are not satisfied. That is, we want to calculate all the parameter, that is the generation cost and transmission line cost, distribution line cost, and then the substation, as well as for the labor. That is, a number of the consumers are there, the working in the generating station, substation, the transmission line, the distribution line. That is, we need to, all the amount we need to calculate it from the consumer itself, consumer itself, and some amount of the reasonable benefit. And again, this the cost is varied for domestical consumer, industrial consumer, that we will discuss in the next unit, that is tariff. And this is the load curve. Generally the load curve is plotted on the x-axis we are taken for time in hour, and y-axis we are taken the load in kilowatt or megawatt. The y-axis we are taken the load in kilowatt or megawatt. The x-axis we are taken in the time in hour. Here the each time interval we are taken for 4 hours, that is 2, 4, 6, 8. The each interval here we are taken for the 2 hours. That is the early morning it is started, that is AM, that is 2 AM 4 up to the noon 12 PM, and the cycle is repeated again per day 24 hours. 24 hours. Here the cycle is repeated. The x-axis represent for the time in hour, and y-axis we are taken for the load in kilowatt or megawatt. The load in kilowatt or megawatt. Generally, based upon the load curve, we can identify how much the demand is there, how much demand is the particular time period, particular time period. For example, you can take early morning 4 o'clock, the demand is 2 megawatts. Here the load is represented in terms of megawatts, 2 megawatts. And early morning 6 o'clock, how much the load is there? For example, you can take the 7 o'clock, the load is around 4.2 or 4.3 megawatts. Again, the load is decreased. This is the load on the power station is not constant, is varying time to time, time to time. The load is not maintained for the constant. The load it should be varying from time to time. For example, in home application, you can take the early morning 2 o'clock, sorry, 4 or 5 o'clock we are wake up, we are utilized for the load. We are using for the cooking food, we are using for the greaser, iron box, oven, so on, etc. The load is increased. After the 6 or 8 o'clock, you are using for the washing machine, cooking food, using for the electric oven or electric stove. Again, the load is slightly increased. After 8 or 8:30, 9 o'clock, maximum we are going to the college, school, office, industry, so on, etc. Again, the load is slightly decreased. Almost 10 to 11 o'clock, again the load is comes for the base load. Here two types of load is there. One is nothing but the base load, another one is for the peak load. Base load in the sense throughout the time period in a day 24 hours the load is maintained for constant, that is nothing but the base load. The peak load means within short interval of time the load is increasing, after that it is coming from the actual position, it is represent for the peak load. Here early morning the 4 to 5 o'clock the load is slightly increased, again 6 to up to 8 o'clock the load is increased. All the consumers they are wake up, they are ready, they are used for the iron box, washing machine, greaser, refrigerator, so on, etc. The load is increased. Again, and 8:30 to 9 o'clock, they are went to the office, the school, industry, college, so on, etc. Again, the load is decreased. And afternoon, few of the members again came back. They are used for the TV or some of the appliances. Again, the load is slightly increased. And 4 o'clock, they are dispersed to the home up to the 8 p.m. Up to the 8 p.m. night, the load is increased. The load is increased because all the consumers are in the home. They are used for n number of appearances. After 8 to 9 o'clock, again the load is coming to the base load. Again the load is coming to the base. In this the diagram, the base load is considered for the 2 to 3 megawatt. The peak load is 6 megawatt. The peak load is 6 megawatt. Based upon the load curve, we can identify on the particular day how much the minimum load, how much the maximum load. In this, this is 1 day representation. Here, the minimum load is 1 megawatt. The minimum load in this, the load curve shows the minimum load is 1 megawatt and the maximum load is 6 megawatt. The maximum load is 6 megawatt. And particular time period, how much the load is there? We can identify with the help of load curve how much the load is there, particular time period or the particular day. Here, in this the day, in this the load curve, 1 day is represent minimum load is 1 megawatt and maximum load is 6 megawatt. Suppose we want to find out at 8 a.m. how much the load is there. 8 a.m. the 4 megawatt load is there. And 11 p.m. how much the load is there? 2 megawatt. And 10 a.m. how much the load is there? That is the load is 10 a.m. around 2.4 to 2.5 megawatts. And 6 p.m. how much the load is there? 6 megawatt. With the help of load curve, we can identify at different time period how much the load is available. We can find out minimum as well as for the maximum load. Based upon the load curve, we can find out at what time the minimum load is available, that is nothing but the base load, and how much time period maximum load is there. Here you can observe this is considered for the base load up to the 2 megawatt. 2 megawatt is considered for the base load, or else you can take 3 megawatt is considered for the base load. The peak load, how much time period is there? In this, the 6 to 8, that is 2 hours, and here and 4 to 8, here the 4 hours. Total on that particular day, 6 hours the peak load is available. Remaining 18 hours that is considered for the base load. And the load curve is not constant. The load curve is not constant. It should be varying time to time. It should be varying time to time. You can observe in this the curve from midnight, that is 12 a.m. to up to the 3 a.m. Is this the constant? Again it should be increased slightly, again reduced, again increased, again decreased. Is the load curve is not maintained for constant. It should be varying time to time, and it is not constant for day to day. Today the load curve is different. Tomorrow the load curve, it should be either varying or it should be differ, either decreased or increased. And this the load curve, it should be differ month to month and season to season. And rainy season and then winter season, the load curve is different. And one more thing, this the load curve is different for working day and then holiday. The load curve is different for working day and then holidays. And the one more thing, based upon the load curve, we can identify how much the demand is. How much demand is. Based upon that, we can generate the power. Based upon that, we can generate the power. This the load curve is applicable for the all the consumers. That is domestic load, industrial, irrigation, municipal, all the consumers, and it is not maintained constant. The x-axis we are taken for the time in hour, and y-axis we are taken for load in kilowatt or megawatt. But in this diagram, the load we are taken for the megawatts, and the variation of the load we are taken only in a day, that is represent for the daily load curve. We can take followed by this, the daily load curve is represent for the monthly load curve. We are taken in terms of hours, that is represent for the daily load curve. We are taking number days, this represent for the monthly load curve. And daily load curve, the monthly load curve, it should be differ. And the next one, the load duration curve. Here in this, the load duration curve, we are taken from the load curve. We are taken from the load curve. Now you can observe here the load curve. The x-axis we are taken for the time in hour. The x-axis we are taken for the time in hour, and load duration curve also the time x-axis we are taken for the time in hour, and y-axis is the load in kilowatt or megawatts. The load we are taken in the kilowatt or megawatts. From the load curve, we have taken from the load duration curve. That is, here the x-axis, the time period they represent for 4 hours. That is 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and 24. They are taken for the up to now. This is nothing but the noon, and that is nothing but early morning. This is AM to PM, AM to PM. Again, it is the closed loop cycle AM. Now, the first 4 hours, the how much the load? 5 megawatt is there. The first 4 hour, the load is 5 megawatt. Again, the load is increased. The load is increased. And 4 a.m. to again the 8 a.m. the load is increased. How much that is? In this the 4 hour, the load they are utilized for the 15 megawatt. And the next 8 hour, the load is 20 megawatt. And the next 8 hour, again this is comes under for the base load 5 megawatt. Here in this the base load is 5 megawatt, that is the peak load is 20 megawatt. Peak load is 20 megawatt. The two peak load is there, one is for the 15 megawatt and then 20 megawatt. Here the first 4 hours, the load is 5 megawatt, the 5 megawatt. The next 4 hours, the load is 15 megawatt, 15 megawatt. And the next 8 hours, the load is 20 megawatt. And next 8 hours, the load is 5 megawatts. That is total in a day 24 hours. The first 4 hours, the load is 5 megawatt. Next 4 hours, the load is 15 megawatt. Next 8 hours, the load is 20 megawatt. And next 8 hours, the load is 5 megawatt. This is we are taken from the actual load. From this, the load curve, we have taken from the load duration curve. That is the highest demand we have taken in the left hand side, and the lowest demand we have taken from the right hand side. That is nothing but the load duration curve. The load duration curve. From the load curve, we have plotted the curve is nothing but the load duration curve. The same in the x-axis we have taken for the time in hour, and y-axis we have taken for the load in kilowatt or megawatt. That is, you can see here the highest the load we have carried in the left hand side, and lowest load we have carried in the right hand side. Here in this the load curve already you have note down. First 4 hour, that is 5 megawatt. The next 4 hour 15 megawatt. Next 8 hour 20 megawatt. Next 8 hour 5 megawatt. Highest demand is how much? The 20 megawatt. How many hours? 8 hours. That is the first 8 hour we have taken from the 20 megawatt. 20 megawatt. That is the next highest is how much? 15 megawatt. How many hour? 4 hour. That is the next 4 hour we have taken for the 15 megawatt. 15 megawatt. The next load is 5 megawatt, 5 megawatt. Total here 8 hour, 8 hour. That is total 12 hour, that is 5 megawatt. Total 12 hour, that is nothing but 5 megawatt. We are taken in the descending order, highest to lowest. That is represent for the load duration curve. Load duration curve. That is the load duration curve can be obtained from the ordinary load curve. That is the maximum load, it is represented in the left hand side, and minimum load is represented for the right hand side. From the load curve, in this the figure A represent the load curve. In this the load curve, different load is there. That is the base load and then peak load. The base load is represent for the 5 megawatt, and the peak load is 20 megawatt. That is the first 4 hours, the load is 5 megawatt. The next 4 hour, the load is 15 megawatt. The next 8 hour, the load is 20 megawatt. Again, it is comes from the base load. Next 8 hour, the load is 5 megawatt. This we can represent it highest to lowest. That is from the actual ordinary load curve. We are taken from highest to lowest. That is represent for load duration curve. This highest value we are taken the ascending order. How much? The 8 hour. That is 8 hour is 20 megawatt. Next 4 hour is 15 megawatt, and the 5 total 8 plus 4 12 hours is 5 megawatts. This is nothing but load duration curve. This we are taken from the actual load curve. This same x-axis we are taken for the time in hours, and y-axis we are taken for load in kilowatt or megawatt. But we are taken in the descending order. That is nothing but the chronological order. Highest to lowest, left hand to right hand side. That is represent for load duration curve. Next one, what is the use of load duration curve? With this, the load duration curve, we can measure in a day how much the load is variation at any time. Within 24 hours, we can identify how much the load is varying. That is, we can identify what is the base load, what is the peak load, at what time the load is increased, at what time the load is varying, at what time the load is minimum. Based upon the thing, we can adjust the load in the generating station itself. Once we are generated the power, we can't save it. Immediately, we need to send to the consumer via transmission and then distribution line. There is no other options is there. Based upon the demand, we can generate the power. That means we can save for the fuel that we can utilize for the future purpose, because the fossil fuels are depleted day by day. Once we are the saving means that we can utilize for the future, either one day or 1 week, 1 month, 1 year sources. With the help of load duration curve, we can identify the load variation in a day, that is at any time period, 24 hours, and we can measure what is the maximum demand and what is the minimum demand. Previous example, the minimum demand is 5 megawatt and maximum demand is 20 megawatt. The similarly different station, that is either 200 megawatt or 300 megawatt, 500 megawatt, based upon the plant capacity. And another the usage is area under this load curve use number of units generated in a day. How much we can generate it in the particular day. This also we can calculate it with the help of load duration curve. And the next one is integrated load duration curve. The integrated load duration curve. This is also the same thing. The x-axis we have taken from number of units generated in kWh, number of units generated in kilowatt hour, and the load we are represented in kilowatt, that is the load demand in y-axis. Load demand we are represented in the y-axis. This is here. In this, the x-axis we are represent for load demand, that is represent for U1, U2, U3, U4, U5, so on, etc. And y-axis we are represented for the corresponding point, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, so on, etc. This is whenever it meets the load, that is represent for A, B, C, D, E, F. That is the number of units generated U1, U2, U3, U4, so on, etc. Corresponding the load demand represented by this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Its corresponding point, that is represent for A, B, C, D, E, F on the integrated load duration curve. This is nothing but load curve, load duration curve. Another one is for the integrated load duration curve. That is the load curve in the sense it should be taken. The x-axis is time in hour and y-axis is load in kilowatt or megawatt. But it should be varying time to time. It is not constant, and it should be varying from day to day and hour to hour. And the load curve is differ from holiday to working days, and winter to summer the load curve is different. And the load duration curve is taken from the actual, that is ordinary load curve. That is the highest value we are represented in the left hand side, and the lowest value we are taken for the right hand side. We are taken in the descending order. That is we are taken from the actual load curve. And integrated load curve we are mapping corresponding to the x-axis with respect to the y-axis, and this is the corresponding represented point, that is A, B, and then C. This is represent for integrated load curve. In this the class we have discussed about what is the economic aspects of power generation. That is we can identify 1 kWh, how much the cost we can calculate it. That is nothing but different various parameter we can measure for the various parameter. That is nothing but economic aspects of power generation. And we have discussed what is load curve, load duration curve, what is the use of load and then load duration curve, and integrated load duration curve. Up now, any doubts?